Okay, so when making a list of problems facing our state and even our roads, expired license plate tabs ranks nowhere near this top, but it does get a lot of people going. The Star Tribune recently asked the question many of us have wondered at some point recently: why do so many people seem to be driving with out-of-date plates right now? I was wondering that, and then I looked at Kent's car. Kent?
Hey, Jana, we'll get there. We'll get there in a second. In the name of transparency, I will address my own history as a driver and those license plate tabs. But first, it's worth noting that current tabs are really only required for cars that are currently on the road. So tracking expired tabs is actually kind of tricky and fluid, but that's why it makes for some great debate.
It turns out keeping tabs on the number of expired tabs on Minnesota roads isn't easy, even for the Department of Vehicle Services.
They don't have like a real good handle on it, although they don't think it's a major problem. But if you drive down the road, you probably can spot one just about every time you're out on the road.
And Star Tribune reporter Tim Harlow knew it wasn't just him after writing about the issues in one of his recent Drive columns.
Where does this rank in terms of public reaction?
You know, this one's probably in the top 10. I figured it would be somewhere in the middle of the road, but my email box and my voicemail box just was overflowing. Most of them were just thinking that people were skirting the law and being lazy and irresponsible. And the fact that, I think there's a perception out there that, people aren't going to get ticketed for it.
Enforcement was relaxed early in the pandemic, and following the police shooting of Dante Wright, several cities began limiting stops for minor traffic violations. Though tab violations can still be issued, Tim says court data shows a steady decline in tickets starting all the way back in 2018.
I did ask the Department of Public Safety about that, and they said the State Patrol would address it, but they're busy with other more pressing issues on the road, so it's not real high on their priority list.
Though even with fewer officers on the streets, it's worth mentioning that you can still get busted for it, and you don't need to be pulled over or in your car at all.
I heard from a couple readers who said, well, I did get ticketed, and they were like in a parking lot, like at the Minneapolis parks.
All honesty here, I was one of them. Up until last fall, I realized it had been several months. It was enforcement that got me to comply. I didn't realize until I got a parking ticket that I had expired tabs.
And in case you're wondering if my surprise and others was the result of some mail or email notification problem, Tim says DVS is reporting nothing of the sort. Though to be fair, they can't ensure those messages were read.
Email boxes can fill up with a lot of stuff, particularly if you're using like a work email as your address.
I can attest to that. I did do a search. I did find the email. And I just hadn't opened it.
And it's just kind of human nature, things you need to do once a year, you just kind of forget or put it off. I mean, I think that's the real reason why we have so many.
I think we're gonna have to take a walk around the parking lot.
There's one right by where I'm parking. December of 2022. I thought DVS had a great answer. They said, well, look at your tabs on your license plate. It tells you when it's due, and you drive your car almost every day.
For the record, that was not my car in the parking lot. Today, I paid my fine, and to be safe, I renewed my tabs all the way through 2024 just to be safe. And by the way, if you just got that sinking feeling yourself and you don't want to walk out to your car and check your plate right now, DVS also has an easy link to check your status. We've got that on KARE11.com. Jana?
I'm with him. How do you not know? How do you literally not know?
Sometimes when you got a couple of vehicles in the household, you stick the stickers on the one car. Maybe you just thought you had it done, and then you go on about your business. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here.
I was going to say, the way that came out, it sounds like you have an 8-car garage, Kent, and you can't possibly be bothered with pedestrian things like covering your Porsche and your Maserati.
The jalopy that I drive was out on the street, okay? That one, it gets neglected.
He also mentioned one that I've heard people say, they're like, well, maybe my wife, like, oh, I'm going to get to it. And that was a year ago. So, well, I guess we start getting to it. How much was the fee for your ticket?
Like $100, I don't know. There's a lot. Don't do it.
Okay, thanks, Kent.